Hi everyone and welcome to MoteCon 2022. We are going to be enjoying now another session as part of our pre-conference, and today is a little bit different. We're going to be finding out how we can get all aboard the Moat boat with two of my colleagues from Moat, and I'm delighted to be joined by Mackenzie and Shelly. So hello to you both, and what I'll do is I would love, as I'm sure everyone else would, to know a little bit about yourselves and maybe something of your background in education. So if we start with Mackenzie first, that would be great.
Hi, guys. My name is Mackenzie Macleod. I am a former reading English language arts teacher in Dallas Independent School District. I taught all secondary, but I spent most of my time in 8th grade. And when I was there, I focused on English as a second language. And I also had a large special education population. Aside from that, I taught for 3 years. And now I am here at Mote.
That is amazing. Can you top that, Shelly?
I don't know if I can top it, but I have, so a little bit about my background. I have been an educator for 16 years, and I've taught in 2 districts, and one district I taught for 2 years, and my previous district I taught for the rest of the time. So majority of it was from there, and I have taught 4th grade, ELA and social studies. I've taught 4th grade self-contained. I have taught 2nd grade ELA. I then went to gifted and talented, kinder through 5th grade, which was such a cool move and transition to teach little brains that were brilliant. And then I moved to instructional technology, and I was able to kind of coach teachers in integrating technology into their classrooms. And I did that for the past 6 years. And now I am here.
Wow. Those are quite the resumes. And just in case anyone was wondering or had any concerns about Moat not having education, teachers and learning at our heart, you can rest assured that that is exactly where we are coming from, myself being a former teacher and school leader as well. So one of my highlights of 2022 so far was actually spending some time with you both in person when we went to the ISTE conference out in New Orleans. And what really struck me about speaking with you both is that you had really enjoyed some of the relationships that you'd built with your students. And if I were to kind of ask you to reflect back on those things that you loved most about teaching, it'd be really great to hear those. Maybe a couple of stories or teachers that you've worked with along those lines. It would be awesome. Shelly, if we start with you.
Absolutely. I think my absolute favorite thing about teaching is building those relationships, whether it was with my students or my teachers or in the building or my teacher right next door to me. And I'll first start off with just students. Starting from day one was my number one priority. And just getting to know the students and getting to know their life, getting to know their home life, getting to know their favorite things, getting to know what they ate for breakfast that morning. All of those things were so important in making our community in our classroom work on a daily basis. I had to get to know them, and I had to know what made them get out of bed in the morning. And so then taking it to the staff and the people that you work next door to, they became your family. They became people that you encouraged and people that you were able to cheerlead along with and people that you cried with and loved with and all of the above. You almost spent more time with them than you did your own family. So you had to learn to get along. You had to learn to fight well. You had to learn to love well. And you had to learn to build relationships that lasted long. And so, yes, relationships are number one with everything in what I do. And
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. And if I was to ask a similar question to Mackenzie, so not only what is it that you love about teaching, but perhaps what is it that so that you admire in those that are teaching? Because I know it was just wonderful seeing you engage and relating to those wonderful educators that we were blessed to meet with at ISTE.
Yeah. What comes to mind during this whole conversation was my mentor teacher, Miss Brown. My first year, if I didn't have her, I would not have been set up for success. And I just think about that relationship and how that helped me develop relationships with my students and so forth. One thing that I truly admire about teachers, and especially teachers who have been teaching for a while, like been in the classroom, is just the confidence. Like I had so many like moments like as a young teacher where I'm like, oh my gosh, everything is burning. Like the kids are going crazy. They think I'm one of them, like something crazy. And just having the wisdom of somebody who's like been there, done that, experienced it all, and can like give me some foresight on what to do, that made all the difference. And that really allowed me to get some beautiful memories from teaching. Like, don't get upset when the kid gets upset. I had to learn that from a teacher who's more seasoned.
Awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie. So you've both been part of the team at Mote now for close on 6 months, five or 6 months, and
Yes.
So I would love to hear, and I'm sure everyone else would too. What are some of the things that you enjoy most, having taken the step outside of the school building and then into a ed tech company? And maybe we can start this time with yourself, Mackenzie.
Okay. One thing I love is that I still get to talk to teachers. Like ISTE, getting to meet everybody was definitely a highlight for me. The other thing is I really believe in the product and that it can help people. So that makes working with Mote and at Mote so enjoyable, because every time I have a conversation, I'm like, here's how it can help you, and trust me, it will. So I think those are the two big things. And then of course my team. So yeah, my highlights for those.
Fantastic. And same question for you, Shelly. What is it that you've most enjoyed about your time at Mote?
Well, I think Mackenzie took the words out of my mouth, because I completely agree with everything that she had to say. But yes, I still get to build relationships with teachers in districts and admin across. I don't only get to do it with my individual district here in Texas, but I get to do it with people across the world now. So I have a broader perspective of where this is taking it across the world now. So that's pretty cool. And again, like Mackenzie said, it's a product that I believe in, and that I loved it when I was in the classroom. I loved it when I was an instructional coach and telling teachers about it. It's something that I promoted, and I, told my teachers that they should use in their classroom, and I still do it to people now. It's something that I believe in. So it's a tool that I can get behind, and I have passion for, that I believe can bring personality and creativity and individual student voice to your classroom all the time. So something that you believe in is easy to promote on a daily basis. So,
and that's a nice pun to finish that section with. And then, so just finally, we obviously have the 2 days of MoteCon coming up at the end of this week on August the 19th and the 20th. If you want to join in the conversation about MoteCon, just for people tuning in, you can do so across socials using the hashtag that's just scrolling across in the ticker there, hashtag MoteCon. And you can also jump over to the website, which I'll put on to the screen right now. While these are being displayed, what I'll do is I'll just jump back to my colleagues and ask you, this time maybe start with Shelly. Are there any sessions, maybe 1 or 2 sessions, that stand out to you that you're particularly looking forward to, Shelly?
Absolutely. Goodness, all of them look amazing, by the way. There's not one that if you went to, you would be not impressed with. But I did choose 2 that kind of stood out to me that I'm really excited to tune into. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was the one with Eric Guys. He's using templates in Mote to foster student creativity. And the reason that stood out to me is just, I love any time that a student can create over consume. So creating versus consuming is always number one in my books. So that seems interesting to me to learn about how he can create using Mote. So I'm looking forward to that one. And my other one is 7 tips and ideas for using Mote. And to be completely honest on this one is just close to my heart and comes from home. Her name's Brittany Horn, and she's on my team from my previous job. And I know with 100% certainty that anything that comes from Brittany or anyone on that team, if they have their hands on it, then it's going to be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to anything that comes from them.
Thank you so much, Shelly. And I know that you'll be keeping your eye out for all of the sessions, but probably have a special bookmark next to the one delivered by your friend and former colleague there. And then, so the same question for you, Mackenzie. Is there maybe one session that stands out for you?
Yeah, the session that I'm really interested in is Hidden Accessibility with Tiffany Castillo. Dealing with special education students as well. It looks really interesting to learn about how you can use Moat within Google Slides, Forms, and throughout the Google Classroom, and then connect that to your whole instruction, making sure that you really get that differentiation in your classroom. So I'm really excited to see how she puts that together.
Awesome. Thank you. So this has been a wonderful conversation. Really, really appreciate your time. I know you're both super busy. Just wondering, for anyone that is watching this across socials and might want to connect with you to find out a little bit more about your story and how they can, as we said initially, get aboard the Moat boat. Is there any preferred way that they could reach out to you?
Absolutely. On Twitter, you can follow me at @ShellyHall_TX. I'm from Texas, and I'm here in Texas. And then my email is super easy with Mote. It's shelly@mote.com. Either
Great.
one.
And then, so the same question for you, Mackenzie. I know that you've been using Twitter of late.
Yes, I was just going to say, you guys can reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is Hey Miss MacLeod, or you can contact me via email, and my email address is mackenzie@mote.com. Simple as well.
Fantastic. Thank you both again so much for your time. Thank you everyone else for tuning in. If you have any comments or thoughts at all about MoteCon, don't forget to use the hashtag to join in the conversation. And until next time, we'll see you then. Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.